Want to bulk up but don't know how many calories to eat? Today I'll explain how to find your starting point, and I'll make a distinction that few channels make, natural or enhanced, because the rules aren't the same for everyone. First thing to understand, TDEE. It's the total number of calories you burn in a day, including your basal metabolism and physical activity. There are formulas and online calculators to estimate it. The problem is that they're often approximate or incorrect because they don't take into account your actual metabolism, your body composition, or your specific lifestyle. Two people with the same stats on paper can burn completely different amounts of calories. Use it as a starting point, but don't treat that number as an absolute truth. Here comes the most important distinction, the one that almost no one clearly explains. If you're natural, building mass in a deficit is practically impossible, except in very specific cases, such as beginners or those returning after a long break. During maintenance, you can do a slight recomposition, but the results are slow. Surplus remains the most efficient context for growth, but it shouldn't be excessive because your physiology limits how much muscle you can build in a given period. Eating much more doesn't accelerate growth, you only store fat. If you're enhanced, the situation changes radically. Certain compounds increase protein synthesis and improve nutrient utilization to the point that building mass in maintenance is absolutely possible. In some cases, even in a slight deficit, depending on the compounds, dosages, and the individual. Body recomposition for those who are enhanced is much more concrete and accessible than with natural. In any case, natural or enhanced, monitoring body weight over time remains the most honest tool you have. No formula will ever give you the right answer. You'll find it in the field. When talking about mass, you often hear that protein is the most important macro. That's not exactly true. Each macro has a specific role, and none is more important than the other. It depends on the context. Protein is the material with which muscle is built, that's true. But without enough calories, you don't grow, regardless of how much protein you eat. And carbohydrates in this sense are often underestimated. They are the main fuel for training, they influence recovery, and have a direct impact on performance. Fewer carbohydrates often means less intensity means less muscle stimulation. Fats, on the other hand, play a fundamental hormonal role, especially for natural athletes. Cutting them too much can have negative consequences on the production of testosterone and other anabolic hormones. Natural or enhanced, macros should be balanced based on your goal, your body, and how you respond. There's no universal breakdown that works for everyone. To recap, TDE is an estimate, not a certainty. Building muscle mass doesn't necessarily mean being in a surplus. It depends a lot on who you are and how you're training. And macros should be considered as a whole. There is no fixed hierarchy. No one will ever give you the perfect number because it doesn't exist. The only thing that exists is what works for you. If you want a personalized plan tailored to your goals, you'll find my email in the description. Write to me and we'll assess things together. If you found this video helpful, leave a like and subscribe. See you in the next video.